There are some rumblings now around the internet that Amari Cooper has also been traded to the Buffalo Bills. So on the same morning, Davante Adams was traded away from the Las Vegas Raiders to the New York Jets for a third-rounder, conditional second potentially if they make it to the AFC Championship and he plays, or the Super Bowl and Davante plays, or if he's voted first team or second team All-Pro by the Associated Press, that'll become a second-round pick. Now, allegedly, Amari Cooper has been traded from Browns to the Buffalo Bills. Now, Amari Cooper was a Raider, then he was a Dallas Cowboy, then he was traded to the Browns, and now he's a guy who is going to join Josh Allen, Mac Hollins. Hey, he's always barefoot, that guy.
Oh, yeah. Feel the grounded.
Shoes are just a tool.
That is interesting, and his hair is.
Why don't he play barefoot then? Huh? Just go all
not allowed to.
That'd be so.
All in with the gimmick.
He would, but
It's
he's
not
not
a
allowed
gimmick.
to.
Kickers.
It's a real thing.
He doesn't use utensils either. He eats with his hands like a man.
I don't mind that.
How come you're not out there grinding yourself barefoot out there in the wild?
I do from time to time. I like grounding myself.
So does it work on turf though?
Nope.
I don't.
Not real
Must be grass, right?
Be
Grass
connected
or
to the
sand.
soil.
I think sand feels the best. Sand's the best, foot ankle rehab you can get if you walk on sand.
Yeah, but
For
sand connected to earth, right?
Yeah, I think it's still like the electromagnetic pulse of the earth still gets to your body.
Grass connected to earth, right?
Yes, correct.
Yep.
The turf is above cement.
Yeah,
right.
Doesn't work.
I don't know. Does it? Is it? Are you
doesn't work.
still?
I think it works.
Nope.
I think he likes a feel for it.
I'll
I
allow
think
it.
Matt just likes the feel for it. You know what I mean? Because he scored a nice touchdown last night.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think it plays because turf bone's connected to the cement bone, and the cement bone is
connected to
the
the-
earth bone.
Yeah.
Which is connected to Mac's feet.
Bingo.
So we're all good. Well, anyways, allegedly, Amari Cooper's joining them. That's a big-time trade, it feels like, for this Buffalo Bills team, who traded away Stephon Diggs in the offseason to the Houston Texans, now potentially bringing in a new number one. 15 games last year. He had how many yards?
1,250.
With the Cleveland Browns, obviously, Joe Flacco comes in there. Amari Cooper becomes a massive piece of that entire story. D-Bud, what is Amari Cooper? And if this trade is real, which was reported by Schulte, but hey, listen.
They're out there. There's a lot more out there.
Rap sheet.
Okay, so certainly real. Congratulations to Amari Cooper getting traded to the Buffalo Bills offense, who has Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean he's been and has been in multiple places a legit number one. You know, he's not. I wouldn't say he's not where Davante Adams is, but he's a savvy route runner. Had some drops earlier this year, but you can't really get a real feel of how he is right now with how shitty that Browns offense has been up front and with the quarterback play. So coming to a quarterback in an offense like Josh Allen, giving him another security blanket, kind of what he had with Stephon Diggs, with the other young pieces around him, to be in that room and be able to grow and watch him. This is huge, I think, for Keon Coleman. Shakir, to be in that meeting room and being around a pro like Amari Cooper. Obviously drafted top 5 when he came in.
Yeah.
And then it's been, like I said, productive everywhere he's been. So I love this move from the Buffalo Bills.
And never says,
No.
just always.
No issues off the – he's kind of, I mean, just like Julio was, from Bama, just guys that come in and grind.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, he must. I mean, Amari Cooper is the happiest person on the
pumped.
planet right now.
How about Bean?
Yeah,
Bean.
absolutely.
Bean's got to be thrilled as well because you come off a win. All right, they're 4-2. Like Mike Greenberg did this entire thing earlier on our show and on Get Up, I think, where he was like, with this Josh Allen era over the next 15 years, because of the contracts and the way you have to kind of finagle your way through the salary cap with some cap gymnastics or whatever, you're going to have some times where and then there are going to be times where their team is full go. He's like, right now they're in like well, they just beat the Jets.
Yeah.
They beat they're 4-2, and they add Amari Cooper. It's like Brandon Bean's cooking up there as well.
Getting healthier on defense as well. The safeties, I felt like, played really, really well last night. Taylor Rapp flying around, collisions, getting Teron Johnson back in the slot, one of the best slot defenders in the league. When he's healthy, he was banged up to begin the year. Is Milano supposed to come back this year, or he's out for the rest of the year? Yeah, that's obviously a huge missing piece for them. Getting healthier on the back end, that's always great. And then getting a weapon like this for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's obviously a weapon. So for Green to come on and say that, hour and a half later, they make this trade.
Well,
Great job by Brandon
Bean was
once
listening
again.
to Greeny. We're like, yes.
He's dancing on the show, huh? Okay.
Well, you guys are coming out to New York. Okay. There's only one team that's in New York, is what Bean said.
Amen.
And it's the Buffalo Bills.
That's right.
Josh Allen just got a great weapon. Full details have been released. Buffalo gets wide receiver Amari Cooper and a 6th in 2025. Cleveland will get a 3rd in 2025 and a 7th in 2026. And there's a lot of teams around the NFL wondering, Amari Cooper was available for that? That's what Amari Cooper was available for? What does his contract look like?
Oh,
Amari
it's,
Cooper?
so they restructured it right before the season to make it more tradable. I know because when was it? Was it during there was trade talks for him earlier this season.
Early, yeah, and I think.
Well, are the Browns just packing it in? What's it mean for the Browns? Sorry to cut you off. What's this mean for them?
That's a good question, brother.
Are they gonna start trading away multiple pieces now?
And then what's the future look like for them? Because, allegedly the Deshaun contract not as Loctite as everybody had first reported. Another wide receiver trade on a busy day. Buffalo desperately needed wide receiver help. Cooper looked like a player who really needed it, with Cooper's base salary all the way down to $1.21 million this season. Buffalo
What?
So they paid him. They paid him up front to be able to trade him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, can we go back to what it cost again? A third and a seventh?
Third and a seventh.
Yep.
$1.21 million, $800,000.
And
I had to give up a 6 as well.
Guy's a Pro Bowler, perennial Pro Bowler.
What are we doing? Why are we always the ones that feel this way? Why do we always feel like, wow, that feels like real light to get Amari Cooper on your team? That is insane to add a instant playmaker.
What would they argue? Would front office people argue, hey, well, that's a lot to give up 2 picks for a guy for 10 games or something? Is that what they would say?
They're giving up 1 really though, because you're getting 1 back.
That's what they would say, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're getting a better one than the 7th.
Yeah,
So it actually.
I think it's a good. Yeah, I'd take that. If I'm the Bills, I'll take that all day long. You only owe him $807,000 for the rest of the year.
Why do we always view it that way, though? Feels like we view it that like this one feels like a heist. This for me. This is what this feels like.
Yeah.
Getting Amari Cooper like that for 1 pick, seemingly. A third rounder in 2025, which Bean, I assume, will be able to get back however he wants. And then the 6th and the 7th, Bean actually wins that one. Why do we always feel this way? I mean, Josh Allen's fucking thinking we were able to get him for a third rounder pretty much?
Kidding me?
And we got to pay him less than some special teamers we have on this team this year? Was there a contract owed? Like for this deal to really get done at some point if they renegotiated this thing?
No, so they gave him all that money, whatever he was due, they gave him all up front at the beginning of the season. So he's basically a free agent after this season.
And he's only 30 years old, I guess.
He's only 30? Wow.
Yeah, he's been in the league forever.
Yeah.
Seasoned vet.
Congrats to the Bills. Big win.
Good move.
They're in the lead in the AFC.
That window.
Congrats to Amari.
Peeking back open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, AJ, and then your question about Cleveland's a good one. What do you think?
I mean, they're just going to start shopping everybody, I would assume, right? Anyone with big numbers?
Deshaun Watson murdered their franchise. Let's just call it what it is.
I mean, do they have hope? Yeah, what do they?
That's
I don't know,
what
man.
They're just
What do
biding their time until Nick Chubb is off IR, and then they're going to
Yeah.
run him into the ground, unfortunately.
Next week.
He could come back soon, right?
Yeah,
Really
he was
soon.
back practicing. His window opened last week, I think. 3-week window. Or 4
Maybe they send Myles Garrett to Detroit now.
Please.
For a 2 and a bag of balls.
What's that? Some Cleveland Brown fan put out.
I saw that.
What's the name of that song, Mr. Brightside?
Yeah.
About the Cleveland
Yeah,
Browns.
Mr. Haslam.
I'm trying to think of his
you
name.
call it Mr. Haslam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah.
The things that they ran through there with the history of how we got to this point in that particular mockery of a song. Well done, by the way. Very well done. When you think there's only one verse, there's another.
Full song.
That's a full song. I mean, a lot of words had to be wrote, singing, the passion, the connection, everything. Way to go. Baker had them win a playoff. Not enough. That's not enough, they said. Yeah. And then he gets kicked out of that building. Remember, that's kind of how it goes down. He gets kicked out of that building.
Yes,
Wide receivers are making videos. They're papas.
They're trying to get traded out of there. And they're like, yeah, you got it, man. I understand completely.
They got OBJ. They were going to win the Super Bowl.
Then they pay the biggest of all time to a quarterback? Of all that?
With
It's almost like the football gods were like, what?
No, we
Who
got
the
to
fuck do you
You think you are? Yeah, you
Huh?
think you're allowed to have an NFL team and operate like this?
We give you Baker, we give you a playoff win, and you think you can fucking turn around and do this shit with a guy with everything that's going on with him?
Against Pittsburgh, they get a playoff win.
Yeah.
Not only just a playoff win, it's a playoff win against Pittsburgh.
They didn't have their head coach.
You end Pittsburgh's season. You ended Pittsburgh, all Yinzers and the Steelers. You end their season. And for people that don't know, like Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns used to be like it used to be a real thing.
Ben Roethlisberger has the most wins in that stadium, I believe, of any quarterback.
Okay, so that's how Pittsburgh people feel about Cleveland. And Cleveland feels that way about
crazy.
Pittsburgh.
And
It's like,
then they give it to him in the playoffs, and Stefanski turns around. Maybe it wasn't Stefanski.
Maybe it was
higher
higher up.
Maybe it was Haslam, but we do know Stefanski threw the ball 60 times with Baker Mayfield having a hurt shoulder.
Against Pittsburgh Steelers.
So everyone could be like, Baker Mayfield's got a noodle arm. He can't throw anymore. We need to go out and pay a guy $230 million.
Seven's last game.
What an interesting. I mean, the way they're going to view this Cleveland Browns situation, it's
Not over anytime soon. I mean, what's the light at the end of the tunnel right now for them?
2 more years, 2027. That's the light.
Is it? No, because I thought remember this year they came out.
But the dead cap, right? For the next
Post
2
June
years.
1, but the dead cap's massive, which I guess we've seen the Broncos. Like, you would never think that before they did that with Russ.
True.
You wouldn't think a team would do that.
That was 83, right? Is what the Broncos give up in dead cap over this season and next season.
I think you almost have to just hope that you are fucking awful this year and that you get a top 3 pick or whatever, and you can maybe draft a quarterback. Like, there's no way you can look at it right now and be like, hey, next year Deshaun will be the guy that he was in Houston and 2014 or whenever he was, a top 5 quarterback. Like, there's nothing out there. There's no evidence that says he's going to be that guy again.
You know that story that they tell about the man who is like, a flood's about to happen or whatever.
Yeah.
And the flood takes place. Everybody leaves town except for him. And a boat comes up to him with a bunch of people that are saving him. They're like, hey, buddy, come on, get in. He goes, no, I'm going to let God decide,
God's going to say,
God's going to say, God will give you a sign. And then again, they come and do it, and it's like, no, I'm going to let God decide. And then he dies, and he asks God, why didn't you save his sign? He's like, I sent you 2 boats.
Yeah.
I sent you 2 boats in there. Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield wins them a playoff game. Joe Flacco gets them to the playoffs. They ship, no, this ain't. It's like they seemingly had the answers, over their existence here and recent, and then it just hasn't been the way they've decided to go. It doesn't make much sense to me, legitimately. Like letting Joe Flacco, not even giving him an offer. I understand you're trying to hype up the quarterback that you paid the most amount of money to and everything like that. But how many quarterbacks played last year in total? 66?
66, yep.
Yeah.
66. You're going to need a good backup quarterback anyways. But just because you didn't want the Browns fans to say, that guy's better than that guy, and you paid all that money to that guy, it's like, that seems like an amateur decision. That seems like an amateur decision there. Then you think about the Baker situation. That feels like an amateur decision. Mm-hmm. Then you see some other shit. It's like, that feels like an amateur decision. And they've had it right in front of them a couple times. And once again, it's like amateur decision. We're going the other way. I don't get it, really.
Well, then you hear, what's going on with Jameis Winston, where, he's the one talking to the team. Isn't the starting quarterback is kind of leader of the team, but the backup quarterback in Jameis is the one addressing everybody and getting everybody hyped up.
And going to community events.
Yeah.
Cutting ribbons.
They even said that. Didn't Deshaun even say Jameis is kind of take some of the heat off of me because he's so vocal and he's such a vocal leader that I can kind of hang back?
Yeah. Jameis told us that.
And then Deshaun stuff where he's like, I'm not asking to get hit more. What do you think is this?
Yeah. I wonder what he's thinking. Has he ever does Deshaun ever do any other long form interviews? I'd like to see him in a long form sit down.
Not.
Just
for the Just Cut Deshaun now crowd, this is Spotrac, who is a weapon. Spotrac is he's an absolute dog. For the Cut Deshaun, now 2024 dead cap 120 million basically, 93 million in cash.
He posted that September 9th. Sorry.
No, yeah, September 9th, 2024, 80 million.
That's 100. That's 100.
For the Cut Deshaun after 2024, the 2025 dead cap will be 119 million.
Man.
93 million. 2026 will be 54 million. That's not bad. Okay, we're getting down. For the Cut Deshaun after the 2025 season.
Okay.
2026 dead cap, 73 million. And then 2027 see only 27 million. So we're in year 2024 right now. Mm-hmm. So light at the end of the tunnel seems to be kind of shaded a little bit by objects. And those objects are big piles of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
And
David,
that's a lot. That's a lot. 118 regardless.
Let's not forget they gave up 3 firsts.
Mm-hmm. And if they, the good news is if they draft a quarterback, then he can just be like a vet backup and kind of show him the ropes.
Yeah, because it feels like that's potentially why Joe Flacco wasn't offered to
tell him how to act and stuff like that.
It's kind of just that they made their bed, now they got to sleep in it.
Yeah.
Has him sleeping in a really comfortable bed.
Yeah. And I think he's a scumbag, so I don't think he really cares.
Jeez Louise, allegedly.
No, I don't think that's alleged. I think with the Flying J, I think some of the stuff that he's done is...
You're talking about the rewards points?
Yeah, that's part of it, and some stuff with, some gas hijinks and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I did hear those reward points were tough to cash in.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
You got to run them up. You can get them.
You do.
You can certainly get the points.
That's right.
Can you use
Using them.
I don't know. That's what that was said.
Yes, exactly.
Well, hopefully for Browns fans, they'll figure it out. But 2029.
There's not much hope.
Yep. No, I think
Not much hope for the Browns. I'm around a lot of Browns fans.
If you're a Browns fan, you for shoot have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, "This isn't worth it. I need to pick a new team."
So the Browns actually did that. Remember, they got up and left and went to Baltimore.
Yeah.
They gave them the opportunity to do that. But these Dog Pound members were just like,
It's family. Families grow up. You grow up Browns fan. My grandpa watched, my dad watched. I'm a Browns fan. I'm not jumping ship now, but they're all miserable, actually.
I will say this about Browns fans. Tough, yeah. I think they're inherently tougher than most people because mentally, obviously on the lake with how cold it is in the winter, having to deal with that makes you a little tougher having to deal with that mentally. But then just getting whacked in the shins repeatedly in very creative ways.
Oh, yeah.
Creative, very creative ways. Biggest contract in history, biggest guarantee, biggest hopes of all time. Coach of the year, this guy. Here we go. Creatively, that seems like a good little, and then bang, like a funny way to build up hope. And then bang, drop them back down. And then now with Amari Cooper getting traded out of there, it's like, what is the sign you're saying to the rest of the team? Just like with Las Vegas. What are they saying? What are they doing? Because just a few, months ago now at this point, Devontae was a pillar of the Raiders. You know who else was?
Yeah.
Max.
You said it, AJ, not me this hour.
They're not getting rid of Max. I don't think they'll shop him, honestly.
I agree.